Hello, little algebra angels. I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you checked your mail. You should check your mail, whatever address it is that you have associated with the school mail. You should have something in the mail from me, and I hope that brought a smile to your face. Definitely was 100% heartfelt, and everybody's is different. So I just wanted you guys to know that you're special. So if we go to our packet, on week 3, which is this week, it says May 4th through 8th, we need to watch Miss Hogg's video, which posts this what you're watching right now on May 4th. And then you're going to do pages E and F. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on today, pages E and F. So we're going to skip through to page E. Okay, and what do we have today? We have slope and rate of change. So we're looking at slope today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where we did that in my notes. Look, I've turned right to it. Look at that, slope. Okay. It's going to start out a little easy, and it's going to get a little bit more difficult, but there's a chart in here. I love this chart. Okay. So I think where I want to kind of camp out in our notes today is on this page where we have this in our notes, finding slope. And remember when we did this chart and we had it from all these different ways we found the slope. If it gave us the y-intercept with standard form, we put it in y equals. If they gave us a graph, we could figure out the slope of the line there. If they gave us the point in the slope, we could figure out the line equation. And if they gave us 2 points, we could figure out the line. Okay, so that's kind of where I want to stay there. And we're going to look at page E. So it says, given the equation, find the slope. So first thing we have to do is check and see if it's in y equals, which you call that standard form. It is in y equals. So remember, y equals mx plus b. And it's written up here too. Your m is your slope. And your b is your y-intercept. I hope that's clearing out some cobwebs for you guys, but yeah, it's important. So here we have, let's label the parts here. We have our slope is a 4 because it is the m. And our b is a -3. Okay, well all we have to do is find the slope. So we're just going to circle m equals 4. That's it, 4. Alright. So this one's in standard form already. It's in y equals form. So go ahead and write down what the slope is on this one. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's negative and it's a fraction. I'm not doing it for you. Okay? Okay, number 3. What do you see is different about this one? It's not in standard form. We have to put it in y equals form. So we're going to need to get the y by itself. So to do that, we need to move this 2x to the other side by subtracting 2x from each side. That cancels that out. And then dividing by 4. Dividing everything by 4. So when we do that, we just get y equals -8 divided by 4 is -2. And then -2 divided by 4 is going to give us a -1/2 x. Okay, so this is written a little bit backwards. And I say that because this is our b, right? And then this is our m. So it's always what becomes before the x. This is an x. So you should be able to label the slope is a -1/2. Okay? So now I want you to do this one on your own. I want you to put it in y equals form. So pause the video and do that. And then you can check back and see if you got what I got. I'm going to go ahead and work it out. Alright, so hopefully you did that right. That one was kind of tricky. Alright, so now, can we find the slope if they gave us 2 points? Yes. Right here in our notes. 2 points. Right here it says what we need to do is we need to, we know these are x's and y's. And remember it was y minus y over x minus x. I don't know if that sounds familiar to you guys, but we're going to use that formula. That's the slope formula. The slope formula is y minus y over x minus x. Hopefully that sounds familiar. So let's label our x and our y's. And subtract. Y minus y is going to be 6 minus 10 over x minus x, 0 minus 5. And so we've got to do some subtracting here. 6 minus 10 is going to give us negative 4. And then 0 minus 5 is a negative 5. So those two negatives actually balance out, and you get 4 over 5. They cancel. Okay, so our slope is 4 over 5. Alright, let's do this one. Okay, so this time they're giving us a point and a y-intercept of 4. So that's going to be our B right there, 4. Okay, so now what we have to figure out is we have to put in what we know. We know our x is 2. That's what it says there in that point. We know our y is 8. We don't know the m, but we do know the b. The b is 4. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use y equals mx plus b to be our guide here, and we're going to fill in what we have. We have 8 equals m times x, which is 2, plus 4. So we're going to solve for m, is what we're doing, trying to get the slope, m. So 2 times m is 2m. 8 equals 2m plus 4. We're going to get the m by itself, so we need to subtract 4 from both sides to get that 4 off. And we get 4 equals 2m. And now we're going to divide each side by 2, and we get m equals 2. If that went fast for you, then go ahead and stop it and go back and watch it again. Okay, all we did is we solved for m using y equals mx plus b. Okay, now given a graph. So if we go back to our chart here in our notes in our journal, we have, if they give us a graph, we can tell where it crosses the y-axis, that's your b, and between 2 points, we know rise over run, right? So let's see here, crosses there, so we know our b here is, that's our b, and let's find another pretty point. How about this one? So when it goes from here to here, remember, rise over run, it goes rise, it goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4, and it ran to the left, which is negative 2. So negative 4 divided by 2 is 2 negatives that make a positive 2. So that makes sense because this is a positive slope. So our m is just 2. Okay, so see if you can do this one, number 8. Not doing that one with you. We can do the same steps. Alright, let's go ahead and go to page F. We're going to be solving some equations. Yay, this is fun. I know you'll love doing this. So remember the first thing when we solve equations, we can go to these notes. I think it was before this. Way back. Way back. multi-step equations. Alright, variables on both sides. Okay, here's our steps. When we solve a multi-step equation, we have to do any distributing first, combine our like terms, and then get x by itself. Okay. So distributing first, distribute first, combine like terms, and then solve for x. Solve for the variable, I'll say. It's not always x. In fact, in that number 1, it's an n. Okay, so let's follow our steps. We're going to distribute first. You see some distribution? You should, right here. We're going to multiply that -3 into everything in that parenthesis. So you end up getting, I'm going to rewrite it over here, -6n plus 3 equals 3n plus 21. If you guys want to get another piece of paper, there's not a lot of work room here, that's totally fine. So we want to get our n's all to one side. So I'm going to move this n over here by subtracting it, subtracting 3n from both sides. And that's going to give me a -9n plus 3 equals 21. Okay? I got to move this this 3 over to the 21 side, the number side. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides to get that number off there, and I'm going to end up with 18. -9n equals 18. And what's left to do here? Divide. And you get n equals what? 18 divided by -9 is -2. Alright, so B. Okay, number 2 says, which value of C makes the equation 42 equals 6 minus 4, and then parentheses -2C plus 3 true. Okay, so if I were you, there's 2 ways you can do this. You could plug in 6 for C and see if it works out. And then do and if it doesn't, then it might be -6, but it could be no solution. So don't think it's going to be all real numbers, but I don't know that yet. Then if 6 doesn't work, I would plug in a -6 and see if that was true, if 42 equaled all this with a -6 in there as a C. Or you could just solve for C. If you were to solve for C, I could set this up for you. 42 equals, okay, we got a -4, we're distributing inside here. We got to distribute first. -4 times -2C is going to be 8C plus -12. Okay, and then we had a 6. I forgot about that 6. So it's 6 plus 6, because can't forget about this 6 right here. So we'll combine all our like terms, and we get 42 equals 8C, and then this -12 and +6 makes it -6. Okay, then you can move the 6 over by adding 6, and you get 48 divided by 8 equals what? Okay, you should know there. Finally, the last section for what we're doing today is identifying and interpreting slopes and intercepts. So just by different 4 different ways. We have a chart here with data, we have a line, we have a value, and then a word problem. So here, remember, slope is always your constant, which is y over x. So y over x, 4 divided by 0, y divided by 0, y divided by 0. So it's 0, okay. Your x-intercept, remember your x-intercept is where your y is 0. It's where the y equals 0. And the y-intercept is where your x equals 0. Okay, so where is your y? When your y is 0, what is your x? 3. When your x is 0, what is your y? 4. Okay, alright. Let's look at this one. The slope of this line is 0. It's flat. There is no slope. Alright, so We also sometimes call an x-intercept, it's 0. So where is it crossing the x-axis? It doesn't cross the x-axis. It does not. No 0. There's no 0. Okay? And what is the y-intercept? -3. Okay? And then down here, the slope of this line is just x equals 2. So if we think about y equals mx plus b, alright, we're missing some things here. So I like to draw what this means. What this is telling us is it's going through x equals 2. 1, 2. Right here. It's a straight vertical line like this. So our slope is undefined. And our x-intercept is 2. Oh, no. Our x-intercept is, there is no x-intercept. No, sorry. It's 2. Duh. X is 2. There's no y-intercept. It doesn't cross the y-axis. Okay? And then finally, number 4. A full 20-gallon kiddie pool drains slowly. After 60 minutes, it is empty. Alright, so the rate of change. Rate of change is y over x. So at 60 minutes, 60x, it's 0. On this one, I feel like there's some things missing here that we didn't actually go through something like this in class. So I'm just going to let you guys on this one. It's kind of hard for me to describe this one on the video. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this one. I want you to X this one out, just so that we're not trying to beat the dead horse here. We're going to go ahead and skip this one. I'm just going to give you the break there. So, you know, after today, we have just one more week of work, and that is to do G, H, and I, and J. But there's all multiple choice questions, so you guys should be able to speed through those a little bit better and faster. But we are Zooming Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So if you guys have any questions, I'll see you then. But that's all I got for today. And I want you guys to be careful and stay safe. And I'll see you at Zoom on Tuesday at 3. Bye, guys.